What is the most important rule in the game? There's no reason why you're not enough. That is what makes everything work. That is the one commandment that stands out, and the rest of them are all equal. The idea that there's no reason why I'm not enough goes against the ideas of social conditioning, attraction, making an impression. You know the old idea that you should have 10 game, or you should be high value? Ignore that. All I want is for you to be of value. When you meet a girl, and I see a couple of girls here in the room, I meet that girl of the same value as her. The minute that I try to show that girl that I'm higher value, that I'm like more important than her, then she thinks that I'm trying too hard to get her to notice me. And she instantly thinks that I'm compensating for something and that I'm not of value. It's actually really easy to be of value and to communicate being of value. But note, very importantly, very specifically, I don't say the first commandment is, you are of value, respect the cock. I don't say that. I say there's no reason why you're not enough. Because I don't want you actively thinking, like walking around thinking, I am of value, I am of value. I don't want you actively questioning, am I of value? You can't question the semantics that there's no reason why you're not enough. Unless you're like become disabled, ill, out of shape, or unhygienic. They are givens. They're basic things in well-adjusted social society. So that way, when you think about that idea that there's no reason why you're not enough, when you go to meet that girl, there's no reason why you can't forge a relationship, a connection, an interaction with that girl, and from there, things can happen. This is exactly the opposite and the difference to trying to make an impression with your accent, with your money, with your car, with your fashion. It doesn't matter. Okay, these things are interesting, they're expressions, but they are not going to be the things that's going to make the girl like you. That idea, there is no reason why you're not enough, shouldn't even be an active thought. You should just walk through the world like, there's no reason why I can't meet any girl. I like her. No, actually the truth is, when you're abundant, when you've been with a lot of girls, when you know how to approach a lot of people, you don't think, I like that girl or I'm attracted to that girl. Honestly, I don't. After being with a lot of different girls in a lot of different situations, I think somebody is potentially interesting, but I'm never inspired to begin with. Okay, a lot of people rush their approaches because they're trying to prove something to themselves or prove something to another guy in this pickup industry. I never rush my approaches. I barely ever approach. I only do it really when I'm on bootcamp or when I'm on holidays when I have time to like follow through and get to know the girl. The truth is, when there's no reason why you're not enough, when you meet a girl, it's like you're exploring what's possible. I kind of think of it this way. Two companies. You are one company, the girl is a different company of equal value, right? And when you make the approach, it's like you're making a merger. You approach respectfully, you kind of share everything, and once you get comfortable around one another, then the chemistry starts to happen, then the romance starts to happen, but it takes a little bit longer after the approach. The difference is, if you're the one initiating the merger, then you're slightly higher value by default. Not because you're high value, but by default. You're the one initiating the merge. Back to the metaphor of pickup, you're the one initiating the cold approach and the relationship and getting to know one another. And that person that you initiated it unto, they are the recipient, therefore they are subordinate in reaction, just at that time. And for example, if any of you guys got approached by, for example, Tyler and asked to work for RSD, you're going to feel kind of special, kind of excited. But at that time, because he had the bigger balls to make the initiative, to start that company, to start that relationship, he took a leadership role. And all throughout the interaction, it should hold that kind of dynamic when you're the man and she's the woman. Of course, there's always going to be back and forth. I'm not making any hard and fast rules about that, but that's the slight difference that men have on the cold approach from being of value, like merging two entities together. I also didn't say that you need to knock the girl down off her pedestal. The girl's not on a pedestal. In fact, the truth is, the girl feels like she wants to be on a pedestal compared to other girls and compared to you. The confident guy who can belligerently approach, who can reapproach, who can be physical, who dresses well. The girl feels like she may not quite be on the same pedestal or level of pedestal as the women she sees in underwear shops and in magazines and on TV and ads and Miranda Kerr, Victoria's Secret girls. That's how girls feel a lot of the time. And just to reference popular culture, girls don't sit on a pedestal and look down at you. Like, they actually hope that you see each other as kind of equal, so they can relax with you, so they can have fun with you, so they can open up their flirting with you, as opposed to you coming at them like from beneath, trying to bring them down, when really they hope that you came at them trying to like take them by the hand and get them to sit up with you, to use the pedestal metaphor. That's how you think about it. And one of the things I'm going to talk about this weekend is that my game now is totally geared towards talking to lower value people. Totally, okay? How can I make girls who feel less self-assured than me comfortable around me so they can relax enough to hang out in isolation where something can happen, as opposed to me impressing them? To summarize that point, there's no reason why you're not enough. The minute that you even defy the idea that there's no reason why you're not enough, the girl will start to sense that you're lacking sense of self-worth. Think of it in English or in German or whatever language you might be listening to in the world. Think of it as a double negative. Not that you need to prove something to yourself. I am enough. More that there's nothing to worry about, that it's there. Okay, gravity is there. It's not going anywhere. Nothing's going to throw all the chairs up in the room straight away. You don't even need to. So we can, do our resistance training in the gym and not worry about like walking into the roof because gravity is taking care of everything for us. That works for you guys. Just like I said, be aware of your hygiene, be aware of your aesthetic expression, and be aware of the social norms in the part of the world that you go to. Understand them so you can live by them. That is commandment number 1. Commandment number 2, be arousing, not attractive. Anyone here who's in the cold approach industry learning about the game, never ever use or try to apply the idea of attraction ever, because that is going to go against the fact that there's no reason why I'm not enough. To be attractive is to try to make an impression, is to sell yourself out, is to overcompensate. The word arousal is a far better word to understand this dynamic. Arousal. Arousal is like stimulation, it's like being engaged, it's like being interested. Arousal is actually broken down into contrasting things. Contrast. Something that's arousing is something that's positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Or exciting, boring, exciting, boring, exciting, boring. Tension release. It's like happy, sad. It's like comfortable, unsettled. Think about, from a girl's point of view, when the girl is watching a movie. Okay, when you're watching a movie. If you watch a movie like James Bond and it's just like one big gun battle all the way through the movie, you're going to be like 2 hours, like fuck, that's too much. But if it's like calm, then romantic, then elegant, then classy, then disaster, then machete battle, then recovery, then espionage, then calm again. It's this juxtaposition of different themes, feelings, and emotions and ideas. That's what keeps things arousing. So the way that you execute arousal is have an awareness of the two great polarizing emotions, positive expressions and negative expressions. Basically, even if you're high value, when you become high value as a guy, you're going to walk around the world complimenting a lot of people. You look good. You look great tonight. You look gorgeous. A lot of the time when you're a high value guy, you'll pay somebody undivided attention, then you'll turn away because you have options. And from that recipient's point of view, they're going to feel a little bit like shaken. They're going to be aroused and engaged in you. Of course, you're going to be predictable and unarousing if you're Mr. Nice Guy. Nice to meet you. Can I buy you a drink? Can I pay you undivided attention? Can I buy you a drink? Nice to meet you. The positive, positive, positive becomes boring. It's consistent, predictable. Now, the thing is, if you use a neg, credit to old Mystery from back in the day, negs are okay once in a while because most people are positive and it is a contrast to the positive, so it makes it arousing. But in only using negs, and that becomes predictable as well, consistent as well. But it works in many different kind of polarizations, positive and negative expressions. Positive and negative about you, about the girl, about the situation, about hypothetical things. Positive story or a negative story. You could also polarize between serious type conversation, where are you from, what do you do, I'm from here, I do this, and hypothetical, silly conversation. Let's get married, I hate you, don't talk to me, wear lingerie, let's have a sexual affair, shit like that. So if I'm always silly in the interaction and never be serious, then I'm going to be kind of predictable and therefore immature. If I'm always serious, then I'm too serious and I'm boring. So we're always swaying between the two. When you go out with natural game, natural instinctual game, don't make a plan of what you're going to say. Just notice if you go too positive or too negative, too serious or too silly. It's got to be a combination of the two. Combination of embracing to get to know the girl and pushing away and challenging to keep things interesting. And that way you can live and talk infinitely for your entire life and never worry that you're getting bored. In fact, if you find yourself getting bored, if you arouse yourself with self-amusement or even deep, interesting rapport questions like getting to know the girl, that should work itself out. That should be infinitely arousing in the interaction. Now, arousal as well as a dynamic, that's more like a little bubbling stream instead of like a water blaster. What you need to do is let the arousal bubble along at more of a consistent pace, which is more sustainable for you anyway. Just chit-chatting, using a range, a whole bouquet of expressions over a longer period of time, until a quantity of arousal builds up between the two of you. That is kind of like a soothing effect. It makes the girl feel like she gets to know you. And once she gets to know you, she feels comfortable to open up to you, to be aroused, to flirt with you. And with that comes compliance. If you want to write things down, arousal equals compliance. And compliance equals the girl being happy and excited to hang out with you in isolation. From the girl's point of view, it's almost a very predictable pattern every single time from cold approach. When a guy approaches a girl, first of all, the girl has a thing called a firewall. Boom! A filter. Is this guy serious? Am I in danger? Should I be worried? After 3 or 4 minutes of you just being normal and not getting too worried about her firewall, which tends to look like this, like the mean face, as my bootcamp students like to say, especially Austrian and German guys, like, Alex, she gave me a mean face in 30 seconds. Shut the fuck up! It's the firewall. The mean face. I'm like, student, did you just hear what you said to me? The fucking mean face. What the fuck? You have the firewall for about 3 or 4 minutes of skepticism from the girl. And then it melts. You don't have to destroy the firewall. The firewall melts if you just like apply the arousal, let the bubbling happen. And then once the firewall melts, it works like this. The girl gets aroused here. It's called interested. Then if you talk a little bit more, and she's single and you're single, and there's a good range of emotions, she gets excited. It's like the butterflies in the stomach that she's experiencing. You are giving her butterflies in the stomach, kind of a sticky feeling. And then with a bit more physicality, a bit more talking, maybe even some sexual expressions, then she's going to get turned on in a more intimate sense in an erogenous zone called the genitals, okay? And that's when she's going to get like literally turned on, seduced, and want to hook up and have sex. Like that, then she's like swept off her feet. So the longer that you do that, the more you can make the girl comfortable, the more she relaxes, the more her whole body opens up to being aroused by you and like kind of letting in all those emotions which excite her. Just kind of like reading that fucking book, 50 Shades of Grey. Just by being around the girl enough, she trusts you and she opens up to the arousal from you, and it's very exciting for everyone. And once you're in a sexual relationship with the girl, she loves spending lots of time with you because it feels good for the girl. It feels awesome. You are her source of excitement, mental and physical. It's great for the girl. And then when you go away for a long time, it dies down. So in terms of arousal, if you want to pick up a girl who's already got a boyfriend, her quantity of arousal with that other guy, her connection or bandwidth with that other guy is going to be stronger than the small bandwidth that she has with you. Now, you might be more effective at like establishing that bandwidth and building that quantity of arousal, making that girl relaxed faster than what that guy did in the first place. But hey, if they've been together and they're equally of value together for like 2 years, it might take you months and months to overtake that 2 years. Maybe. Okay, there's no algorithm for that one, but that's how it works. So that's why, guys who are really, really good at pickup, guys who are really good at cold approach, they can engage any girl, but they can't like take a girl away from a girl who's got a boyfriend, because a deeper sense of connection and loyalty to that existing guy. Now, in a different case, if the guy's like a fucking movie star or a football star or what do you guys like a skiing star here in Austria? Kitzbühel, Hahn and Kam, yeah, I don't know. What's that thing in Kitzbühel, the fast race? Oh, the Stephen Harmon coming. Yeah, great. That's the one. Maybe girls love that over here in Austria and Germany. I don't know. But that's how it works. That's high status approach. That's not cold approach. Okay. The third commandment of natural instinct game is that the true indication of interest is when a girl is quiet and attentive. Has anyone here ever had a set where the girl just looked at you and she looked kind of retarded and didn't have much to say and she was boring? Well, that was perfect. You have perfect cold approach game. Well, the truth is, that's all that it needs to look like at that stage in the interaction. When, let's say for example, a girl in the game who's single, who's looking to meet a guy, a cool guy who's of value, who's not trying to impress her, when she identifies a guy she's interested in, she's instantly going to be self-conscious, exactly the same way that you would have got self-conscious when you were 14 around a really cute girl at school or at the bus stop or the train station or whatever it is you took to school when you were 14 years old. So that self-consciousness tends to petrify a girl and make her less interesting or more boring or less engaged and more withdrawn while her firewall is up for that first 3 or 4 minutes from cold approach. Okay? After some time, then the girl will start to chat more. There's a lot of filters going on in her head. She's wondering, what impression am I making? What does this guy think of me? Should I try to impress him? Should I play hard to get? Should I like him? Should I even think twice about this? These things go on in her head. In fact, I saw this thing on the internet recently. A girl's mind is like an internet browser with 75 tabs open at once. And what's the end result? RAM crash. Or a girl in a club is like, blue screen. Just walk away. So you got to realize that when you're getting that reaction, when you go to meet the girl, if you walk away because you think the girl is boring or you think the set is not going anywhere, you're a fucking idiot. The girl's just like chill, self-conscious, kind of don't know what to do with their hands, smoke, drink, and then I make them comfortable, talk to them, make them comfortable, look after them. I'm patient with that kind of stuff that they're going through, and then I help them to open up and relax and be expressive. Then we can all have fun. Then the girls start to like me and get along with me in a way that they can't relax around other guys. So I have that advantage. The girls, they want to be picked up by a guy like me or like you. So when you understand that the true indication of interest is when a girl is quiet and attentive, you watch those first 4 or 5 minutes, or even the first 2 or 3 dates with a girl, a very feminine girl, while she doesn't have much to say, knowing that it's all going on underneath the surface, that she's got a big personality, a big heart, and she's very expressive, but she just doesn't want to fuck up, or she doesn't know what to make of the situation, what's right or wrong. But as you kind of relax and be a little bit goofy yourself, goofy, that word, if you're goofy yourself, then she can relax and she can be more expressive. One of the reasons why so many guys don't pick up girls and fail at picking up girls from cold approach pickup is because you think the girl is too boring or the set is not going anywhere and you walk away. And that's true for me as well. The difference is I'm good at making it interesting for both of us and drawing the girl in to contribute and engage into the interaction. Then it starts to work. It's a pretty simple principle. If the girl looks dumbfounded or starstruck when you go and approach her, endure. It's kind of like when you take off from an airport in a commercial aeroplane. There's going to be some turbulence, some bumps, some turning and maneuvering. There's going to be some messy bits. And then after that, after 4 or 5 minutes, you're up, smooth sailing, you're cruising along in the conversation, and that arousal is beginning to build together with you and the girl, and that's leading towards compliance, isolation, trust, all those things that are eventually going to get the girl. They are the 3 first commandments of the natural instinct method. Now, the first 3 kind of things that you need to do. Number 1, action number 1 of 3, okay, that I originally defined. That is called create initiative, or simply talk to girls. If you don't go and talk to a girl, you're not going to relax her, you're not going to make her comfortable, you're not going to give her a range of emotions, you're not going to arouse her. A girl is there to be picked up. If you don't go and approach a girl, she's not going to be aroused. If there's one girl, if I'm the girl, and I see 6 guys here, another 5 guys here, it's the one guy who can talk to that girl enough to create enough arousal that's going to make that girl most engaged in that guy. If you can be that guy, if you can just keep chatting, and it doesn't even have to be high quality. If you've heard my hot seat isn't that high quality verbals. It doesn't need to be. The girl is just going to feel comfortable and engaged to that guy. It's natural evolution that men and women go together. So chat. But when you chat, when you create initiative, ensure that you use a bouquet of emotion, a whole range of emotion. Otherwise, you're predictable and boring. Be aware that from a girl's point of view, she would prefer to speak to multiple different people than only one person. So you need to be kind of like varied enough and have like a long enough string of communication and chat to develop the arousal in the interaction for her to like you. The simple way to put it is just talk to girls, being aware to use a range of emotions. Positive, negative, excitement, relaxed, sensible, and then silly, big combination. Second thing that you need to do, and the very most important skill of this game. I did say that there's no reason why I'm not enough is the most important principle, the mindset, but the thing that you have to do that's going to make you good in the game, the thing that's going to get you results, and the thing that's going to make you grow from being scared, emotional, a bit of a little bitch, and have anxiety. The most important thing can be demonstrated with a salute. The 4 times rule salute. A hush goes over the room. Endure tests. That is the 5th commandment of the natural instinct method. The endurance of tests, and now we classify tests in 2 different types, active and passive. The endurance of tests is what's going to make you get the girl. When we talk about enduring tests, we're now talking about seduction. A girl's walking along in the day, going to work, drinking a coffee, seeing her sister for a lunch or something, and then a guy approaches her. From that point of approach to sex, that guy will have to do several things to change the girl from her original course of action to a different course of action, and that is seduction, to draw her into that. Don't think that seduction is a negative word, it's not. It's a positive word. It's a positive manipulation. It's creating something fun and exciting and trusting and arousing that both can enjoy. But girls use tests, both active and passive. An active test is buy me a drink. You're just trying to have sex with me. That's what every guy says. We're lesbians. Walk away. They're active tests, challenges. You're gay. You're not good enough for us. I don't really get that many of those anymore. But what's more common and what you need to be able to endure, remember the word is endure, are the passive tests. Awkward silences. The girl diverting her attention somewhere else. The girl going to the bathroom. The girl talking to her friends. The girl not being interesting or not saying cool things to you. The girl challenging you, like more subtle challenges. They're passive tests. And any test, active or passive, they're just things that prevent you from seducing the girl. For example, if it was lost and the plane crashed on the island, there's 2 people left, there's no seduction necessary because you're a guy who's in decent shape, she's a girl who's in decent shape, and you're living on an island. Well, you're going to be connected because that's how humans work, okay? Regardless of personality, it's going to happen. For the good of evolution. Well, it can happen with any girl that you meet if you're with them long enough and endure enough of those tests. There's many ways to endure a test by changing topic, skirting around the issue, misinterpreting, responding in a funny way, taking away and coming back. There's easy ways to endure those tests, but if you can spend long enough time with the girl, you will apply arousal to her and excitement and trust and confidence in a way that she'll start to think, he means a lot to me. He is meaningful in my life. I'm worried about losing him. I'm turned on by him. I'm only turned on by him because I'm the only one who I feel comfortable around naked. That kind of process. Other times it can be even faster and more exciting when the girl has a disposition to want to hook up. But in terms of seduction and dating and meeting the girl, cold approach, going all the way through, it's enduring those tests. Maybe she doesn't want to meet up straight away. Kind of like keep talking to her, keep bumping into her in the same club. It can work, but like you can't give away that there's no reason why you're not off. Don't get desperate and needy and start like hounding the girl like she's the one. Keep all of your options open. Just like sharing a vibe together and overcoming the tests, mostly passive, that you get. Some girls will give you a lot of active tests, like buy me a drink, we're lesbians, we don't talk to guys like you. Even like racist tests, like we don't like Australians. Some girls say that to me. What the fuck? Well, that's kind of good. Those active tests is like get an active test, give a fun response. So if the girl's going to start throwing these kind of like unreasonable objections at you, then you can accelerate the arousal faster than it would naturally happen. Then you can go into drama and passion and stronger, more powerful expression, which kind of turns the girl on. In fact, when a girl throws a test at you, she's like, your shirt's gay. You're like, fuck you. You wouldn't get a straight guy anyway. You can throw it back at the girl and she's like, like gets a little bit excited. So I like it when girls do that. And sometimes it's like when girls get really, really stressed, a lot of guys are hitting on them, and you can like respond to tests properly, you can really excite her very, very fast, and it's a really good seduction. Be aware when you get active tests, when girls say this shit to you like walk away, we don't want to talk to you, and you're like trying to put her down. And that completely breaks the connection. It makes her dislike you and you dislike her. It's not the way that you want to interact with the girl. So be aware of those active tests. They're a double-edged sword, but they can be the pathway to even more effective arousal and seduction in the interaction. The 4 times rule, the reason why we call it endurance, is because you're allowed to endure a testing situation up to 4 times. When you're learning the game, and a girl says, walk away, that's once that you get told off. You're allowed to say, I'm sorry, which would be a second effort. I'll even do a little demonstration just to make it absolutely clear. 4 times rule. I go and approach a girl. Hi, nice to meet you. She's like, what? My hi, nice to meet you is 1 time. She says, what? I'm like, oh, hi, sorry. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm doing like a German accent, trying to like communicate with her. She's like, you are not funny, walk away. My 3rd attempt would be, oh, I'm really, really sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just really, really frustrated that nobody here understands me. You know, but I like Schweitzel. What's that fucking Schweitzel? Spitzel. I like Spitzel. My 4th attempt would be something more lighthearted like that. And she's still like, I don't want to talk to you. Then I would leave it, okay? Because if I'm still not getting anywhere after 4 times, she's probably having an issue that day, a fight with a friend, a fight with her boyfriend. When I get the rejection 4 times, I and you wouldn't have done anything so bad that you should have been rejected. If you go up and like get in her face, overly aggressive, like try to like kiss her in front of her boyfriend or girlfriend, then that's against the social norms and that's like violating what's normal, and that's not the right thing to do. You can get away with it, but you don't want to play against the social rules. You want to kind of like abide by them and work with them before you take them over. Most of the time, the 4 times rule doesn't even apply. For example, you'll go and approach a girl and you'll say, hi, nice to meet you. And she's just like, hello, and look at you like this. That's just because they don't know how to interact or talk to you in the beginning. You know, they don't do cold approach pickup seminars for hours at a time on a Thursday night. They're just like, they have a thing called resting bitch face. Girls have a thing called resting bitch face, where they're just like, my feet hurt. Hello. Because they're wearing high heels or, you know, different things annoy them. So that is not a 4 times rule sort of thing. Only when you're asking something of the girl like, do you want to talk to me, or do you want to come with me, or do you want to dance with me? That's when you're starting to reapply 1, 2, 3, 4 times to make something happen. If you talk to a girl and she's like, I need to go to the bathroom, I need to speak to my friends, I'll talk to you later, that's not part of the 4 times rule. You can just reapproach. You can reapproach infinitely. Most guys never get girls, never get arousal, and never establish comfort enough to hang out in isolation because they never reapproach and create enough time and arousal together to pick up. So say, for example, the 4 times rule, if you're trying to get the girl to go with you after the club to an after party or to a diner, and you want to get in the same taxi together, you can be a little bit aggressive or assertive, and I use these words very, very carefully, to try to get that girl to come with you. If you say, let's go to the diner, okay, your plan may very well be, I want to take the girl from the club to the diner, and then maybe not even go to the diner, take her back to my house in the attempt to have sex. Fair enough. That's a part of the game. But you're only allowed to try 4 times before it becomes like coercion, which is illegal, all right? So if you're like, no, jump in the taxi, take the girl by the hand, like, let's go. That's 1 time. She's like, no, I can't go with you. I'm like, no, it's going to be so amazing. We're going to eat like a fucking Wiener Schnitzel and a bratwurst and a mustard. I don't know. And there's going to be Ikman Snappy, the clan playing in the radio there. That's what you need. That'd be my second attempt. And she's like, oh my God, I'd love to, but I can't. I'm like, come. And she still says I can't. I'm like, okay, well, just come for a little while. That'd be my third attempt. Just come for a little while. Just a little while. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to like sip a fucking piece of spaghetti until we kiss. Oh my God. Oh my God. And she's like, no, I really can't. I really want to. But if you keep trying after those 4 deliberate attempts, then you do go into desperate mode. Then you do go into I'm needy mode. And you also go into sociopathic mode. You lack empathy. You're allowed to kind of push the point. You're allowed to try to persuade somebody. But if you go more than 4 times, then you're like, 5 times creepy man, okay? Honorable 4 times, 5 times creepy. You don't want to be that guy, okay? And a lot of guys fail because of that. From my point of view, when I see a girl, if I really want to talk to her, I'm not going to get pushed out of set too easy. I'm going to make the approach, and she's like, I can't talk to you right now. I'm like, but it's really amazing time of the day to talk. I don't want to get pushed out. One of the biggest problems that you have, and most guys have, is that you'll go around the club, approach a lot of people, and just get pushed out of set or ignored too easily. You never stand up for yourself. If you start honoring the 4 times rule, and you stick in set, even if things go terribly, even if you're a newbie, even if you can barely speak like words out of a small voice, and you stand there and you're like, oh, but I'm standing up for myself, you walk away giggling like, that was crazy. Instead of like, hi, mean face. And then you approach somebody else, like another girl, mean face. In that sense, if you don't honor the 4 times rule, then cold approach game pickup is going to make you a crazy loser. You know some people in this industry, they do pickup and they don't honor the 4 times rule. They don't empathize with people around them. They don't connect. And what happens? They become crazy, forceful, needy, negative, aggressive. Some people slip into that, and everyone in the game can have stages in that. And to the women out there, and a guy's ever been like that to you, well, hopefully now he understands the 4-time rule. So when you go to approach that girl, you're ready to politely engage, say you're sorry, empathize, and understand that girl that you're talking to for a moment. Not just like hope for sex, get a mean face and walk away. It's a problem that a lot of guys have. So the 4 times rule, it applies to going for the date. It applies to trying to pull home. It applies to trying to take the girl's clothes off at the end of the night when you're in bed. If you still fail after 4 times, let it go for the time being. Try another time, okay? That's the way you got to think about it. Sometimes you 4 times rule it on a girl, you're just not going to get anywhere. Imagine you're a guy who's new at the game and you want to talk to a girl who's really, really popular. You can have 4 attempts at that girl. Just say, I really like you, you're really cute, I'm really attracted to you, and still you get nowhere after 4 times, well, let it go. Go and work with another girl. And all of a sudden that girl's going to look at you a different way. You stood up for yourself, but you had empathy, but now you're going to create more options. And so the 4 times rule is functional both in the set, during tests, and it's incredibly powerful and functional in you getting better as a person from this game. Be very, very aware of becoming weaker in the game by getting pushed out of set too easily. 4 times rule, like I said, hush over the room, is the most important thing in the game. The 6th commandment, physicality. Most guys get put into the friend zone because they never add physicality with the girl. If you have no physicality, you have no chemistry. Mr. Nice Guy never knows how to initiate contact. The guy who's got a sexual side and a flirty side, he does know how to initiate chemistry. Physicality in our game works in 2 ways. Physical rapport and physical expression. I want all of you to cancel out of your vocabulary the terminological physical escalation and physical intent. Physical escalation, like trying to make moves on the girl, and physical intent, showing the girl that you really like the girl by like making moves on her, advancing on her. These things don't accumulate and equate to you getting the girl. It's not a causality. Those things fall under the category of expressions during cold approach. Excuse me. So what you want to do, the model that it looks like, when you're meeting the girl in a bar, at a dinner party, maybe at a cocktail lounge, you can do social physicality. You want to make that girl comfortable in your, physical space. Touching around the shoulders areas. the hands, the arms, the shoulders, tapping the shoulder, putting your hand on her shoulder, not the lower back, that kind of social physicality. And once in a while, you can have some fun mock dancing with the girl, dipping the girl, pretending to kiss her on the neck, like standing like face to face with her, like kind of fronting up, getting in her grill, as they say. You can use those expressions for fun. So with your physicality, if you rush the girl and escalate, intent, she's going to get very, very turned on, very excited, very aroused, but it might be at the expense of making connection with her. She may not be connected. So she might be excited, but not trust you. And that's not enough for her to like you, to go into isolation and actually hook up with you. By expressing physicality once in a while, both escalation expressions and pushing away expressions, like turning your back, throwing her hand away, pushing her by the shoulder, softly, be nice, things like that. The girl will wonder, is there more coming? Does he like me? I know he can do escalation. I know he likes me, but why isn't he? Is he attracted to me? Those little questions inside of a girl's head help her to want to game you. Help her get excited about the game instead of escalating too hard where the girl's like, oh shit, this is fun, but I just got to breathe a little bit. Give her more than enough time to breathe and she'll be very, very excited about escalating on you. But when you temper your physicality, when you don't give away all the drugs at once, when you go a little bit at a time, when the girl gets home and into a place where she can be intimate with you, the girl, and it's a beautiful surprise when this happens, the girl takes some initiative and starts like taking some clothes off and dressing, like undressing seductively in front of you, like escalating on you in isolation. And when you only express intermittently instead of using your intent, the problem is, and it defies the third commandment, when you use intent, like, I want you, notice me, I'm escalating. You can see from the girl that she's getting excited. You're seeing the indication of interest. Well, the true indication of interest is when the girl is quiet and attentive, not reactive and engaged. Reactive and like caught up in you. It's a different, more subtle thing. It's invisible game. The great thing about this style of physicality, this entire style of game, natural instinct method game, the great thing about this is that you never look like a player and you can kind of meet everyone without the extra defensiveness and without the active tests that girls give you. Okay, so that's physicality. Physical rapport, just make the girl comfortable with you. And then physical escalation intermittently throughout the set. The seventh commandment. And now we're getting into the new territory. Okay, the new stuff that I've never published before. I have to even check my notes for this. Time is your ally. I guess it's a pretty simple point. But women are attracted to the relationship, not the person. For a girl, she can know like 10 different guys who are all different types of attraction. Some attractive. Some guys are artistic, some guys are sporty, some guys are really intellectual, some guys are amazing businessmen. But the more time a girl has spent with a guy in the right framework, the I am enough physical rapport framework, the better relationship she's going to have with that guy. Hence, a girl is attracted to the relationship, not the guy himself. So when you spend time with a girl, it helps her to relax and open up with you. And inside of the comfort zone of that relationship with the girl, she feels comfortable with you, she can have fun. I am always keeping a sense of how long I've been with a girl. I know that if I am enough and I have physical rapport, the juices are flowing the way they're supposed to, as long as she's available, she's single, and we have a chance to meet up sometime in the future. That's what it is to be naturally attractive. For example, from a guy's point of view, if you're like working with a really cute girl in the office, or you're studying with a really hot girl at school, it's a matter of time before you start becoming attracted to that girl. Well, when you understand the mindsets, the principles and the skills that I'm talking about here, it's a matter of time before the girl starts to like you. So, think of it this way. In the first 3 or 4 minutes, you can't get attraction. 3 or 4 minutes, there's a firewall there. You can only start to realize potential attraction. So whenever I meet a girl, there's no attraction. Maybe a little bit if she likes my type of shirt, my type of hairstyle before she met me, maybe. But it's a potential, not an actual thing. as the girl starts to relax, she opens up those emotional channels, and then arousal, attraction, and wanting to be engaged with me and drawn to me and excited by me and with me, that all starts to really ramp up. It's a function of time. That said, you can then really use time to your advantage. If you're an attractive type of guy, expressive, fun, and physical, and you're of the right mindset, there's no reason why you're not enough, and you spend enough time with a girl in a bar without trying to fuck her, without making her defensive, and without getting ahead of yourself, then in that time, the girl's going to actually want the time to go faster. She's going to rush it for you. She's going to become unsettled, like, does he like me? I think so. What the fuck? So, for example, if you go out in a bar tonight and the bar closes at 3, my plan of attack, me personally, is to accumulate time, which is arousal. Arousal is a function of time, with a girl in the bar, and I know that that is building up in the girl. What I do is I just hang out with her, I watch in her pupils and in her kind of like shoulder tension and in her self-consciousness, I watch all of that build up. Even her kind of, a girl even tries to get a little bit silly and go into denial about the way she acts around me. So she can like get away with, or feel like it doesn't matter if she makes mistakes socially. So that later on, when we're in isolation at the after party, at the diner, then we can kiss. And a lot of the time there'll be absolutely no indications of interest, hanging out, physical rapport. It all looks very kind of like subdued on the surface. But when I suddenly, in isolation, in privacy later, turn to her face to face, eye contact, and make the move, she's like, oh, do me. Okay, that's how it looks. So you're using time to your advantage. You're stuck in a nightclub for 2, maybe 3 hours, depending where you are. Logistically, it might be hard to spend enough time with a girl to make her relaxed enough and aroused enough to want to do something with you, because people have jobs, schedules, existing friends, things like that. But during that time, the way that I think to it myself is that I have 3 hours to waste instead of 3 hours to work. So if you're thinking about having fun and wasting time with the girl instead of working the time with the girl, if you're trying to rush the clock, you're only going to make the girl feel defensive, like you have intentions, like you're desperate. But if you think, oh, well, I've got 3 hours to waste, you become fun, lighthearted, sexual, innocent in your expressions. You become non-intimidating in the way that you behave, and girls love that. And you put yourself in a great position to get the result later on. That is warming up the girl, like arousing the girl. So in that sense, time is your ally. You can spend 3 hours like fucking around, being happy and wasting time, or you can spend 5 hours, significantly longer, working her, making her defensive, working her, making her defensive, working her, making her defensive, and eventually that's going to die. Okay? It's easier to go slower with time to get a faster reaction, faster result is what I mean actually. So basically, going slower and not working as hard on the girl, but spending more time with her, that's going to be the fastest, most effective way to actually get the girl. And what I mean by that is make the girl comfortable and happy to hang out with you in isolation, have sex, and be turned on. Okay, now we're truly going into the so-called unknown. The next point, the front door. Here's the newest point. In the hot seat, I get everyone to recite 2 things. I'll ask people, what was the first thing that I taught you? And they say, there's no reason why you're not enough. The next thing I ask them, and I want everyone to say this out loud on the hot seat, is this. What is the most important variable of night game? The front door. When we're going for cold approach pickup, we're going into environments where we can meet girls we never met before. In the bar, and the way the cold approach pickup game works, you're not going to get a surefire reaction there and then. Okay? If the girl likes you so much just from face-to-face meeting within like 10 minutes, that's because she likes something about your job, your accent, your network, your social circle. There must be some kind of high status approach going on there. With cold approach pickup, nobody meeting nobody. Usually when you're in the bar situation, there shouldn't be so much attraction or flirting or turn on. There shouldn't be that much that the girl wants to take you home specifically and fuck you. It should be an unanswered question all the way throughout the night. And if any of you ever thought like, oh, that girl isn't into me, well, that's fine. That's how it can look to move to the next stage of the interaction. All that I do in my game is set up a situation so I can walk that girl out of the front door at the end of the night, okay? Only then can I actually get a solid reaction. I mean, a solid result with that girl. When I talk about the front door, that means that I'm going to take her back out into reality, back out where we can be one-on-one. It's kind of similar to like an instant date, kind of similar to one-on-one direct arousal time. And also, one thing that all of us fail to remember is that we get kind of like too caught up in gaming like 100 girls at once in the bar. Talk to her, ego boost. Talk to her, ego boost. Talk to her, ego boost. It makes you look a little bit like a player. What you need to do is honor the front door rule and decide on one girl or one group. Decide she's the one. Have good reasons in your mind why you decide that, and you need to choose her. And the more time you spend with her leading up to leaving the club later on, the more she's going to feel special individually, and the more she's going to see that you acknowledge the connection that you have with her. It's all well and good to be attractive. Anyone here can be attractive to a girl. It should be pretty easy. What's hard is to make the girl feel special enough that she feels at home with you specifically. Only then is she going to be happy to hang out with you in isolation, go on the date or whatever. So my goal in the club is to make the girl and her friends comfortable enough with me to walk out of the club together. You can't get a result in a nightclub. You can only get a result if you leave the front door with a girl. You can only get a result if you leave the front door of the club, of the bar, of the house party, of the restaurant with that girl. So it does mean when you honor the front door that you need to give up and forego opportunities with other girls in the bar. When you meet the girl in the bar and you eventually walk out of the front door, then what are the options? You are either the guy who is like man enough, respectful enough, and nice enough to walk out of the front, like the taxi, the train, or the restaurant, or back to her friends. And the girl might be like, you don't have to. But you're like, no, I insist, 4 times rule, I insist. I love spending time with you. I know I'm not going to get laid with you. Doesn't matter, well, next best thing. I love hanging out with you. You're gorgeous. This is much better than looking at my friend's face. I like my friend, but I like you, your face much better. I like your company much better. It's new and refreshing. You're making her feel special. Even though she's going to say, I don't know, be the fucking man and override that. That point of no return. Girls say like, you don't need to take me home. You don't need to walk me to the train. I'm like, it's a free fucking country. I have a choice of like walking alone in the gutter or walking with you, like a beautiful piece of human art. I say shit like that. Beautiful piece of human art all the way into the night. I'm like on cloud 9. I'm like a little 9-year-old girl in love. I'm happy. Fuck you, take away my happiness. And she'll feel a little bit like maybe embarrassed or like flushed, but that's totally fine. You've already got the attraction, and by doing that, you're saying, I choose you more than the other girls. And even then, playing the front door rule game, when you choose that girl and her group, it's really the girl's girlfriends and guy friends that are going to be the one who are going to give her permission to go in isolation with you, either later that night or for a date later that week or sometime like later on. So by choosing one girl to walk out of the front door with and her group, you're getting a thing called social rapport. Instead of losing all your social rapport, losing all your trust and comfort with that girl in that group, you get attraction, but you won't actually get the girl. You get instant dates if you walk out of the front door out of the front door of the club with a girl. You're sitting down, and before you know it, you're dating chicks instantly that night. It also means that you need to be in a great mood at the end of the night. Instead of like running around burning out your energy all throughout the night, you kind of save it to be in after party mode at the end. Tonight, I'm going to be kind of chill until 2:30 or 3, and then I'm going to start to like ramp it up, get expressive, bring people in, choose my girl and have fun with her and take her as far as I can into the night. It also means if you're going to honor the front door rule, you need to be prepared to be awake to 5 or 6 a.m., okay? If you're doing like after work game, then that's a different story. I'll get to that in a second. But you need to be up late into the twilight zone where everyone's kind of dazed, confused, intimate, excited, flirty, warm hugs, that kind of shit. The other thing about the front door, the last thing that I wanted to tell you is that I think that's just about it. The front door is it. It means that they're in the nightclub. We are never working hard trying to be impressive. We know that all the pressure's off until they're at the end of the night. Pressure's off. have fun, flirt, tell jokes, ask questions, tell her about myself, but then at front door o'clock, when the club's closing, get your coat, and that is the time to escalate. That is the time to lead. That is the time to 4 times rule. That is the time to be decisive. No point being decisive in the nightclub. Like, you can do a drill, for example, for fun, but not for purpose, but for fun, to lead the girl around the club. That's fine. That's a drill, but not necessary. I don't even do that in the club. But when we get out of the club, that's when it's leading time. I'm like, yo, taxi, let's go. I hate these fucking bums asking me for money, and it's cold, and let's get it the fuck out of here. That's when it is time for you to man the fuck up, grab some hands, make some decisions, go to a diner, have a plan where to go. Most of you don't even have a fucking plan. You don't know how to get home. You don't know how to get a taxi. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know how to accommodate 2 girls in an after party. Without that, no result. Front door rule is what makes or breaks interactions. That's when the girl's actually going to remember you. Without that, consider the game fucking failed. Okay? As a little trick as well, it doesn't even matter if you did well in the club. You could fail all night long, spend the whole night like vomiting in the corner, get some mouthwash from some like bathroom attendant, find a girl, like, oh, boom, here we go. Yeah, commandment number 9, the statement of empathy. The coolest little trick in the book. Statement of empathy. In the olden days, girls would give you a lot of tests. I mean, if you're going to go to a girl, if you're going to say to the girl like, negs, if you're going to try to bring a girl off a make-believe pedestal, it's going to be an aggressive, attacking type of game that is not really the right thing to do. You want to be a creative, expressive, like a little bit obnoxious, physical, outspoken guy. Girls are aroused by physical guys, loud guys, expressive guys, range of emotion guys, edgy guys, sexual guys. But if you're edgy, aggressive, physical, sexual, girls going to be like, too sexual, too forward, too full on. You're crazy. I'm not like that. Well, you beat them before you get them with the statement of empathy. Here's some of the best ones. Girls love guys who have a lot to say, who have a lot to talk about. I say to the girl, I state my empathy. I say that I understand how the girl feels. We can all easily do things to attract. That's all over the internet. Be attractive, be arousing. But you need to continually acknowledge and empathize with the girl and say, I understand you, therefore I have a connection. I say to the girl, as you can see, I can see that you can tell that I love the sound of my own voice. If I talk too much, you be the one to tell me to shut up. And she's like, no, keep talking. Even though it's like way over the top compared to the average guy. I've empathized with her. The attractive thing is the talking. By connecting with her, she sees that I know that I'm talking too much. And she's like, okay, we understand each other. I like that. I feel comfortable. Good. That's the kind of thing that'll make her happy to hang out in isolation later. Another statement of empathy. Girls like physicality from guys. Ballsy guys. Physically expressive guys. But they don't like it like right off the bat. It's kind of like intrusive. So what I say to the girl is, oh, by the way, I didn't have any sisters when I was growing up. I only had brothers. So I'm too physical or too like touchy-feely, just tell me to back the fuck up. And the girl can instantly tell like, oh, I like that he's touchy-feely. I kind of feel physically comfortable with him, but I was worried that he didn't understand that. No, he does understand that. Another thing, I say to the girl, I was like, oh, by the way, I'm sure you can tell that I like your company more than my friends. It's just that, you know, you're much more refreshing than the guy whose face I've been staring at for the last 7 days at work. And, you know, it's cool to meet someone new. So if I, like, crowd you, just tell me to back the fuck up. And she's like, oh, no, you're cool. It takes the pressure off. You're enduring the test before you get it. And you can do all your arousal tricks you've ever learned. So this way, you can have more fun, make more mistakes, make more errors, take more pressure off yourself, but constantly be verbalizing the connection with that girl right there in front of you. And then she's going to relax and be like, oh, he gets me. And the thing is, you will get the girl, but unless you actually verbalize that you get her, then she's going to feel disconnected and she's just going to see you as an entertainer man. I'm entertained by you, but I don't feel like you know me, therefore I don't feel comfortable, therefore I'm not happy to hang out with you in isolation or take this any further because there's no understanding here. I've said it a million times. It's easy to attract the girl, but it's harder to make her feel comfortable with you. Okay, last one. And kind of like, in a way, like the Higgs boson or the dark matter, that kind of I failed to understand for a long time. I knew there was something missing that I need to implement in my game, because cold approach is hard. It's hard to sustain, and it's hard to care about and to find inspiration and motivation in. So the 10th commandment that I need to apply to myself now is something called the statement of motivation, the SOM. Now, with the statement of motivation, when you start going to approach a lot of girls, you very quickly realize that you are the common denominator, that all the girls are different variations of the same interaction from cold approach. What I had to start to do when I started meeting lots and lots of girls was stating my motivation. Not for the girl, even though that helps, but stating my motivation to remind myself why I like this girl, why I'm going to endure the tests, why I'm going to pay attention to social standards around me. And that would really start to excite me. So when I meet the girl, I state my motivation. I'm like, oh, you're so classy. You're really pretty. You're so elegant. I love your freckles. Whatever it is, I very clearly go like Valentine's Day on their ass, straight there, face to face. And it's a very sweet sort of thing. Guys who do a lot of cold approach pickup become obnoxious, indifferent, belligerent, masculine, alpha. And you start to not give a shit. And then you can become jaded, angry, annoyed. These things suck. And if you go into that dark side, that confrontational side, you just totally suck. A lot of guys struggle with their range of positive emotions as well. So when you start using your statements of motivation, if the girl's being a brat, bring out your statement of motivation for yourself. Just say, I love talking to you. You're so cute. You're so innocent. You're so unintimidating. You're so sweet. Oh my God, you smell nice. And think about Russell Brand or Simon Cowell or even Gordon Ramsay. These guys are true fucking alpha males. Oh, you're in Europe right now. I don't even know any guys in Central Europe who are alpha males. Niki Lauda? I don't know. Yeah, I love that movie Rush. But those really high value guys are like, oh, you just look stunning tonight. They're kind of over exaggerated. And it's the kind of thing that you can use all the time. And when you use one of these statements of motivation, it's so that you stop being like a durr, and you're like, durr. You look at the girl, you wake the fuck up and realize what you're dedicating yourself to in that interaction. The truth is, as you become more high value, you're going to bring out low value tendencies in others. Girls, women, when they sense that you've got your shit together, that you're not to be fucked with, emotionally anyway, when girls start to realize that, they become introverted and they become more boring to you at the same time that you're getting more abundance. So you need to be even better at explaining to yourself why you want to keep talking to that girl. It's an amazing thing because you start searching for these expressions that are deep compliments of a girl's personality. And it's not even manipulative that the girl's going to instantly have sex with you. It's so that you can turn yourself on and learn to love the person that you're talking to. Maybe you need to even do it with your guy friends as well. But one thing that I stopped doing when I started getting abundance was failing to appreciate the people in front of me. Whereas when I was I had scarcity and I could barely meet any girls any of the time, I was just hopeful to get anything regardless. Now I notice imperfection and problems with girls' looks and personality, even guys, much, much more. And now that all of you know more about social dynamics, you're going to be more skeptical and more aware of failures and problems that people have. Well, fuck it. You've got to focus on the positive. And in that sense, you've got to use this almost like the light matter to balance out the forceful dark matter. That is all those things that I already spoke about in the first 9 commandments, like following through, being of self-worth, physicality, a lot of expression, to be lighthearted as well, sweet and innocent. So that was the thing that kind of stuck it all together for me and made it sustainable. Because if I go out tonight, you got to realize that I've been teaching live, in-field, demonstration boot camps for 45 days each year for the last 7 years, plus my own time. I'm going to meet another girl who's going to say the same stupid shit that I've heard before, the same type of hairstyle I've seen before, the same objections that I've seen before. Well, I'm going to make that bearable and sustainable by buying into the things that I like, regardless of how she behaves. She's going to be a little brat. I'm going to look at the things that I like. And that gives me sustainability and consistency and helps me to get the girl and helps to kind of lubricate all the other dynamics together and make them work. Because there's no point being I am enough if you don't even want to talk to the girl. I guess that last point, the statement of motivation that we make for ourselves, while it serves as a compliment for the girl, it helps to inspire you to be like a leader for the women that you're going to meet, to show them a good time, and to be patient in a way that a high-value person needs to be patient. So that is the 10 commandments of the natural instinct method. I'll run through them just for the list's sake. There's no reason why you're not enough. Be arousing, not attractive. Be arousing, not attractive. The true indication of interest is when a girl is quiet and attentive. Create initiative. Use a range of expressions. The most important one, functionally, of all of them is the 4 times rule and to endure tests. The next thing is physicality. Use a range of physical expressions and physical rapport to make the girl comfortable. The next thing is that time is your ally. The next one was, let me just double check my list because these are the new ones. The front door rule. The next one was the statement of empathy. And the last one, to kind of glue it all together in a positive sense, is the statement of motivation. They are the 10 things. And now that I've done that hot seat, me demonstrating or showing videos of me demonstrating how to pick up girls all over the world on more than 42 occasions, over and over again, the exact same videos. That is what I've learned from my game in 7 years. And now I call it, well, I have observed it as the natural instinct method because these things are natural and instinctual when you become truly high value. If you're like the prince of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, or you're Prince Harry of the British royal family, these are the ways that you would behave. If you were the biggest guy out of all the guys in the tribe and all the girls liked you, this is the way you would behave with abundance. It's alpha male, natural, instinctual behavior. And what it ultimately means is that you can run through these things in your head over and over again and give verbal descriptions to emotional phenomenon, and you're going to kind of get them and internalize them. The end result is you go out, you have fun, you say a whole lot of positive things, you hug girls, and then when it's time to go home, bang, you lead. But it's fun in the meantime and really nice and lighthearted.